Hi, amazing students. This is Miss Z, your friendly neighborhood librarian at Westside, and I want to share with you today how to enjoy the library virtually. Let's start by logging on to the Hub. Once you are on the Hub, go to Digital Resources, click on Log In with Activity Directory, and you will see all these amazing resources at your disposal. If you scroll down to Library Resources, here are all the ones that you have access to through our library. The ones that you might use specifically, Britannica is really good. That will help you look up vocab words. You know that it will be accurate. You also have Destiny. That's what you want to click on in order to get to our library books. Click on high school, Westside High School, and you will see Destiny Discover. Then you can start looking through these books. Because we're not in school right now, you're going to need to use the ebooks. Here are the ones that we have right now that are available. So let's say that you want to grab that one. You would click on it and you can read all about it here. You have to log in order to be able to access these books. So I would log in. And then you can open it and check it out. You can check it out, or you can make it a favorite. So if it's not available, making it a favorite would enable you to find it again once someone has returned it. Over here, it gives you other options about that topic. So if you're looking for Civil War, we have several more over here. You also have some search options that you can set if you want to set reading level. And then you search right here. So let's see, I'm gonna look for Assault. This is one of my favorite books. Now you will see that we have that book, but it is not an ebook. It's just a book. So that means that you have to be in school to get it. Now we also have the audiobook in that. So you could open that up and listen to it. Let's see. Oh, and there is an ebook down here. Sweet. This is an awesome book. I really enjoyed it. Let's check out the audiobook. Awesome. So for the audiobook, you just would press listen now and it starts right up. But primarily, this is the section that you'll be using most. Some other things that we have available in our library resources are ways to research. Now, all of you usually use Google, right? But Google is not necessarily the best way, because we have some amazing resources in what's called the Gale Database. And if you go down and choose Westside High School, you will see all of these databases come up. These are legit databases. So you're going to have better information in here than what you could just find on normal Google. And by better, I mean it's more academic. If you look here, you will see what each one of these databases is pertaining to. For example, if you're looking for health and wellness articles, you might look in this database. Sometimes you'll hear this word, especially if you're taking a college class, peer-reviewed scholarly articles. That means that someone of a scholarly nature wrote it and had it reviewed by peers that know that information. So these are really good journal articles to use for research papers. And most of the time, you are required to use scholarly articles in a research paper for a college class. So I'm doing a research paper about the Civil War. Up here at the top, you see the different options. You have academic journals, you have magazines, books, news, images, all of these options of things that you can choose. Let's say that I am doing this specifically on Civil War prisons. I might grab this one. So once you get in here, it's kind of cool. You can listen to it, you can download it, email it to yourself, print it. Then you can also view related articles. Remember, when you're doing a research paper, you have to cite your sources. So what's really cool about this is that you can click on that and you can choose which citation you want. For the most part, I think you're going to be using MLA, maybe APA, it depends on your college professor. So don't forget that that's an option because that saves you a lot of time. If we go back out here to the Gale Resources, you'll see all the different ones. I think this is going to be the one that you'll probably use most. This will be a little bit more recent. So if you're looking for recent things, you would use this one. And there's some literature ones, environmental studies, just a really awesome database at your fingertips. You also have ebooks available. And you can see all the different ebooks that are available here. To search, you would search right there. I want to show you one more resource that we have through the Houston Public Library. This one's a little bit tricky to get into because you have to go directly to Houston Public Library, and then you're going to follow these steps exactly in order to take you to JStor. You press research, alphabetical list, J, and then click on JStor. All of these are scholarly reviewed journals, the same as in the Gale system, but you might have access to different ones here. And then here is your student login information. You're going to use the first initial of your name capitalized along with your student ID number, and then your date of birth with the month and day, 2 digits each. That will log you in to the Houston Public Library's JStor. If you're taking a college class, this is a great resource for you. Let's say I want to look up Abraham Lincoln. Now, over here, you will see, if you are logged in correctly, you will see download PDF, cite this item, and save. If you are not logged in correctly, it will charge you. So make sure that you log in exactly like I have here on this PowerPoint for you. I will put access to this resource in the description below for you. And then you'll be able to click on it, check it out. If you want it, download it, and you'll be able to read it on your computer. So this is the PDF that I want. So I'm going to download it onto my computer. And then when I open it, if I have this extension that I'm trying to show you, it's called Cami. I will click on Cami and I will open it from my computer. And now I can notate right here on the PDF. You grab your highlighter, you can choose your color, and it highlights for you. You can then save it to your drive. You could draw on this. So if you want to, star something, or if you want to put a text box in here, this is just a really cool way to be able to annotate on PDFs. And if you don't have access to a printer, or if your PDF is 1,000,000 pages long, then this is really a good way to do your research. And it saves it on your drive. What you want to do if you don't have Cami is Google Extension Store, and it will bring up your extension store. You type in Cami, and then you would have a button that says add to Chrome in order for you to download it. I already have it, so that's why that button is not there. There are also other resources available for you in the digital resources. You can scroll through here and see all of them. Some of them are a little bit tricky to log in, but if you need any help with that, just email me and I will help you with being able to log in. Most of the time, it is the same username and password that you have with your computer, but sometimes it's a little bit different. Then go to Google Scholar. This one's a little bit more scholarly than regular Google. So think of this as Smart Google or Smarter Google. And I'm going to type in here what I want to look for. I want Abraham Lincoln. And then you will see over here, okay, I've got books. Let me show you some of the ways that you can customize your search. You can choose a time frame. So if your teacher or professor says you need to have things that were written before 2016 or since 2016, that's a really way to be able to do that. You can sort by relevance, you can sort by date, over here in your little hamburger setting, you also have a library. So if this book is interesting to me and it's going to work for one of my projects, I can star it and then it will be saved to my library so that I have all that information there. So what I would suggest when you're doing a research paper is to put everything that you're going to use for that paper into your library, and it will be very easy to go back and find different things. You can also grab related articles, and over here it will tell you if you can access this book on the internet. This one is scanned in with Google Books, so I can get that on the internet, which is really cool to access. You also have this option to do an advanced search where you can say that you want all of these words, or you want an exact phrase, or at least one word. You can also look for specific authors, publishers, and dates, which is kind of cool. Then if I'm looking for something, let's see, literacy and education. Here you'll see that the other ones said books, but this one doesn't say books, so this is probably a journal article. And here's where I can access it over here. If you click on that, then that will take you to this PDF. I should be able to open it in Cami. Let's see. So I was able to open it in Cami, and now I can mark it up straight on here and save it in my drive. Don't forget, you also want your citation. That's really important. So right here is your citation, and then I would add it to my library as well so that I can find it again. Because believe it or not, if I type this in every time, this same article might not come up. And sometimes when you're doing research, you have several articles that you're using. So you definitely want to stay organized, keep those citations, and mark it so that it goes in your library. And that wraps up today's video on how to access the library virtually with all of our resources. Let me know if you have any questions, and happy researching.